Thylacine, The Last Tasmanian Tiger, 1910s. Jacqueline Kennedy, in a blood-stained suit, watches Lyndon Johnson take the oath of office after the assassination of her husband, John F. Kennedy, USA, 1963. Liberated Jews who were traveling on a German death train, World War II. 19-year-old Shigeki Tanaka survived the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and later won the 1951 Boston Marathon. The crowd at the finish line was silent. Human hair in the German concentration camp Auschwitz, 1944. Chemists from Polaroid and the reagents they tested, 1963, USA. Flamingos wait out Hurricane Andrew in a Miami Zoo restroom, 1992. Koreans defend their stores during the Los Angeles riots, 1992. Photos of Titanic survivors, Lolo and Michelle reunited with their mother, 16 of May 1912. Bulgaria, 1990s. People wait to see the legendary mystic Venga, hoping for a glimpse into their future. A men's beauty contest, USA, 1919. Iranian Princess Anis Al-Dawliya had 145 fanatic admirers, 13 of whom died from depression after her rejection. Daughters meet their father after the war, England, 1940. In Guam, virgins are forbidden from marrying. Therefore, there is a special profession, a deflorator. This specialist travels the country and, for a fee, performs the service of taking girls' virginity. Japan, 13th–18th century. It was easy to tell if a woman was married or not in Japan for 5 centuries. The family status was revealed by her smile. Right after marriage, Japanese women began painting their teeth black. Friedrich Nietzsche in a psychiatric hospital, 1899. Andre the Giant drank 156 varieties of beer in one sitting and is the current world record holder for this feat. Dutch resistance members hear news of Hitler's death on the radio, 1945. A German woman sits alone with all her belongings in the war-torn city of Cologne, 1945. Benedict XVI, the 265th Pope, who became a member of the Hitler Youth in 1941 and served in an SS anti-aircraft battalion during World War II. Turkish officers who attempted to arrest President Erdogan punished by staring at his photo all day, Turkey, 2016. Photographer Jay Maisel among his Kodachrome slides, 1982, and I thought my photo archive was a mess. The scandal that shook Hollywood in 1921. Silent film star Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was accused of a brutal assault on model Virginia Rapp during a party, an event that ended her life and destroyed his career forever. Survivors and shocked residents of Hiroshima gather on the street, 10 minutes after the atomic explosion, 1945. The population hides in a swamp during the Vietnam War. Students at Augustana College react to the not guilty verdict of O.J. Simpson's murder trial. October 3, 1995. A settlement of poor people in Central Park, New York, 1932. In 17th century England, women baked so-called cockle bread for their lovers. A piece of dough was pressed against the vulva to get an imprint. It was believed that such bread would act as an aphrodisiac. In case of war, evacuate the children, cover the windows, kill the cat. After the declaration of war in September 1939, the British killed over 750,000 pets, fearing there would be nothing to feed them. A man in a wooden collar, punished for a crime and left to die of hunger. China, 1874. Cuban Revolution, 1959. Police versus LGBT March participants, USA, 1970. A soldier equipped with a helmet with chainmail to protect his eyes from shell fragments, stones, and other debris, USA, 1918. Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton, 1984. Representatives of Native American tribes Navajo, Papago, Apache, and Hopi sign a document renouncing the use of the traditional symbol of luck and happiness, the swastika, in clothing and jewelry, Arizona, 1940. 17th century poison box disguised as a book. Adolf Eichmann's smile as his sentence for crimes against humanity is read, 1961. A priest reads prayers over the bodies of Titanic victims aboard a British ship, North Atlantic, 1912. In 1989, about 2 million people from Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania formed a human chain linking the three countries to show their desire to leave the Soviet Union. Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in the world at 8 feet 11 inches, is pictured here in a rare courtroom photo from 1939. In 1961, the U.S. Air Force accidentally dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Goldsboro, North Carolina. One bomb nearly detonated, which could have caused an explosion 260 times more powerful than Hiroshima. Bulldozers demolish illegally built huts by the poor USA during the Great Depression. Vibrating bra for breast strengthening, 1971. Many women were convinced of its effectiveness. Italian serial killer Leonarda Cianciulli boiled soap from the fat of her victims. She then distributed these pieces to neighbors and acquaintances. The first test of the electric chair on a prisoner sentenced to death, USA, 1956. Before the invention of alarm clocks, knocker-ups woke workers by knocking on their windows. Mary Smith earned 6 pence a week by shooting dried peas at workers' windows, London. The demise of the largest dirigible, the Hindenburg, marking the end of the dirigible building era, USA, 1937. 1935. Engineers and laborers on a pipeline segment over the canyon at the Hoover Dam construction site. There are no safety ropes or helmets, only suits, hats, and a stoic look for the camera. The Nanking Massacre, December 13, 1937. Japanese forces storming Nanking massacred the civilian population. Over about 6 weeks, the toll is estimated at 300,000 dead and over 20,000 raped women. The gift of a Mercedes-Benz from Hitler to Nepalese King Tribhuvan, 1939. Victorian women who never cut their hair, 1885. Black humor from Austro-Hungarian pilots. Growth increasing exercise machine, 1931 photo. On the right with hipster mustache, Adolf Hitler himself, photo taken around 1916. Soviet militia disperses a rally near the U.S. Embassy in the USSR with the crowd chanting "Freedom for Lebanon," 1958. Alternative method of restraining patients in early 20th century psychiatry. A man fuels up his motorized roller skates, 1961. Men's hairstyles from the 18th century. Dolphin hunters in the Black Sea, USSR, 1947. Dolphin meat was sold on post-war store shelves. The USSR ceased dolphin hunting in 1966. French resistance members in Cherbourg shaving the heads of women who collaborated with the Nazis, World War II. The execution of the former Prime Minister of Nazi Hungary, 1946. Residents of Hiroshima prayed towards the epicenter of the explosion on the first anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, 1946. Women prisoners sitting on garbage waiting for food. In ancient Rome, there was an interesting way for the people to fight for their rights: secession. This involved a mass exodus from the city with food supplies. This paralyzed the economy and the patricians were forced to yield. An unusual place for strollers in the front of a bus. New Zealand, 1950. A crowd of children runs to a candy store on the day the government rationing of sweets ended. UK, 1953. Canaan Banana, the first president of Zimbabwe, 1980. A shocking image from 1959 USA, a small child holding a racist sign. It serves as a stark reminder of how hate can be taught from a young age. A U.S. Marine feeds an orphaned kitten. Korean War, 1953. U.S. President Richard Nixon tries to eat with Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai in China, 1972. Beer and cigarette. During a break at the Super Bowl final, USA, 1967. Merle Larcon manually starts the engine of his plane, USA, 1946. Children build an improvised Berlin Wall, West Berlin, October, 1961. Opium became a weapon of the British against China, causing widespread addiction and a national crisis. This led to the First Opium War, and Britain seized Hong Kong. Postmortem photography, late 19th century. The mother and father are blurred, their daughter is not, she's dead, but they wanted to capture her as a memory. Photo related to HIV awareness by the CDC Historical Archives that was removed by Trump. Thanks. A second before the crash, 1962. An apraxia vendor in a suit made from apraxia, 1890. The execution of a thief in Persia, early 20th century. This is not a statue, but a person undergoing an elaborate execution. He was tied up, a wall was built around him from raw bricks, and the form was then filled with lime. 6 hours later, the unfortunate was still alive, and a shooting followed. According to the caption, the crime was the theft of 2 cucumbers. People avoided casual conversations and were unsocial long before smartphones. Turkmen girls, end of the 19th century. On Christmas 1914, during World War I, German and British soldiers on the front line held an unscheduled truce. They sang Christmas carols, exchanged gifts sent from home, and played football. In the following years of the war, such truces could not be arranged again. Group photo of the crew of the British battleship Hood. After the battle with the Bismarck, only 3 of the 14-15 crew members survived. One of the 1.5 million victims executed in Cambodia under the Khmer Rouge regime just for being well-educated, 1978. The Great Depression, USA, 1931. Japanese pilot Yamamura is the only kamikaze to escape death 3 times. First, he was shot down but saved by fishermen. Then the mission was canceled by bad weather, and a 3rd time he was forced to return by technical malfunctions. On April 1, 1915, in the midst of World War I, a French plane appeared over a German camp and dropped what looked like a huge bomb. The soldiers scattered waiting for an explosion, but none came. Instead, a large ball landed bearing the words "April Fools." Kashmir Giants with Traveller Professor Rickleton, India, 1903. The American 90th Bombardment Group, Jolly Rogers, 1942. Mongolian men selling hunting hawks in Beijing, c. 1900. These birds were used for falconry, not food. Rich women ignoring a poor woman, illustrating social inequality in the USA, 1943. Liberated prisoners from the German Dachau concentration camp beating a guard dog, 1945. Fake heads used during the famous escape from Alcatraz in 1962 were made from wax and left in beds so that the guards wouldn't notice their absence. 3 prisoners escaped the island on a homemade raft. They were never found, and it is believed they likely drowned in the waters of San Francisco Bay. Nuns at a casino at Slot Machines, Australia, 1971. A German soldier next to a shell with the inscription, "I didn't want war," France, 1917. The new Old-Rive three-wheeled bicycle, tricycle, 1882. This skull was found in France in the early 19th century and was one of the most controversial artifacts of the time. The Museum of Supernatural History, through analysis, determined that the horns are a natural part of the skull. The head of the Labor Protection and Safety Service acts as a model during a firefighting training course for McGuire Hospital employees, USA, 1965. In 1865, the ultra-right Ku Klux Klan organization was created in the U.S. A surviving concentration camp prisoner cries next to the charred corpse of a friend who was burned with flamethrowers by guards during an escape attempt World War II. Sparked a reaction. Whether good or bad, I'd love to read your comments below. Get ready for the next installment very soon. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss out. Catch you later.